Hey everybody, this is Dan O'Sullivan from Tulsa, Oklahoma at the 2024 Bassmaster Classic. Wanted to take a few minutes and check in with our guys about what's going on in our neck of the woods back there at home. We got a wrap up of Red Crest on Lay Lake with Tracy Robinson filling in for Josh Heron. Then we got our usual crowd, Gentry, Lee, and Tom on their lakes. We'll be right back with what the guys have to say. Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, March the 23rd. Hey, we are joined by Tom Ott. Going to talk a little bit of Guntersville fishing. Tom, did you get out there this last week?
You know I did, Dano, and things were last week. We thought that things were kind of getting a little slow. Things are picking up. I think it's going to be a lot better week this week. We've got some sun. We got a little bit of water depth in the shallows, which is always good for the springtime bite. It got a little tough, and those fish. I think there was a big wave, and they kind of moved around a little bit, moved back out, and we're waiting for some more fish to come in and. It's going to be like this for the next month or so, I think, or 2 months probably. Right now, I mean, those fish are starting to make another push, another spawn wave, and I think the same things that were working 3-4 weeks ago are going to be the same things that we need to do now. Pick up those rattle traps, chatterbaits, those kind of things, and even the plastics. A soft plastic bite is really starting to show itself up in the shallower water. The problem with the TVA lakes is they drop the water real quick, and it makes the fish really either spooky or move around. I think they still stay there, but they get really, really wary of the boat noise and things like that. So it's still just a matter of getting out there, plugging away, working those little contours, those little small points that are close to the bank, or even find some staging fish out there in that 4 or 5 foot of water.
Let's talk about crappie fishing on the lake.
Yeah.
That's got to be starting to pick up, as my understanding would be.
Yeah. Around the causeways, the bridges, there was a lot of crappie a few weeks ago. I think that those schools have kind of slowed up a little bit. You're still going to get waves of fish, but now it's time to get up in that little skinnier water. And when I say that, these crappie spawn just like bass. So, I mean, you can be in 2 foot of water and see big schools of crappie swimming around. Those are the things that we look for. And generally, when we're out bass fishing, we poke around on those crappie some too. So, but that's the area that you can catch some really big fish. Of course, all through the spring, we've been catching fish on rattle traps. I've caught a big crappie on jerk baits and chatterbaits, things like that. So they're big and they're aggressive. And when you get a 2-pound crappie and above, I mean, that's a lot of fun. But they're really getting hot right now. It's time to be out there, get you a bucket of minnows, or just get you a couple of Bobby Garlands and go out there and whack on them.
Tom, as always, brother, we appreciate it. Love to see you and St. Jennifer posting those pictures, and, of course, a little Butler, too. Hey, we'll talk to you soon, brother.
All right, guys, y'all have a good one. Safe travels out there and tight lines. We'll talk to you soon.
Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, March 23rd. Hey, I'm up here in Tulsa at the Bassmaster Classic, checking in with Gentry Gordy. You pick. Where you want to start today?
Let's start at Lake Martin, Dano. I had some friends of mine fish a tournament up there this past weekend and almost dropped 20 pounds on them. So, yeah, Martin's on fire right now. I don't think this little cold snap we had these few nights are going to push them away from where they are. But they're definitely in the back of the creeks, the very back, looking for that pollen scum and, stuff like that still. But I didn't get an exact from him because I was scared to ask. But, I know they were back there. Those largemouth they're doing their thing. They're getting up there, cruising. Could you, getting clear water, could you see some locked on? Sure. Your more productive areas, you're a little bit more stained water, just kind of hides you from the fish. And just running the back to all the little pockets and cuts, looking for log jams and stuff like that, spinner baits, frogs, Texas rigs, anything like that.
What's your favorite approach there this time of the year when those fish get up in there and that cleaner water? What's your favorite approach?
Well, if I can't see them, I don't think they can see me. So, I'll back off with a frog and a swim jig to see if I can get them to react. And then, if I can or if I locate one, then I'll ease up with a, little baby D-bomb or, creature bait, something like that.
Yeah, I like a floating worm this time of the year too, black or the methylate colors. All right, let's turn our attention to Jordan Lake. What's going on there?
A lot of the same, Dano, just Coosa River, the spots are pushing back. The largemouth are back there. You've got stained water. Of course, you can scope them forward facing things, but I think you're starting to see a lot of those fish start pushing from out in the middle towards the banks. Definitely your resident fish in those creeks, are making their way all the way to the back. So I'm, kind of like we talked about last week, I'm starting halfway in these cuts and pockets and just, throwing a moving bait to the back until I can see one that can't really see them locked on at Jordan right now. But, if you see one swirl and these there, then you can slow down and try to pick him apart.
Yeah, this time of the year it can be a lot of fun. That frog bite can be a ton of fun up there, right?
Absolutely. And, and the grass is starting to turn green. So, you got your swim jigs and all that. I wouldn't drive past a good grass patch at the mouth of a pocket because you're still going to have a lot of fish coming in. So
Yeah.
Certainly if there's a grass patch or a trash pile of, I would hit that pretty quick too. But, a swim jig right now is about as fun as it gets to me.
Sounds like fun. Gentry, I appreciate everything, brother. We'll talk to you again next week. Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, March 23rd. Tracy Robinson going to fill in this week for Josh, talk a little Logan Martin and Lay Lake. Tracy, I don't know if you followed that Red Crest tournament on Lay Lake, but we saw a lot of different things going on. Dustin Cannell won it, massive, 80-something pounds on that final day. But Takahiro was throwing a bladed jig. There was a bunch of stuff going on. What else are you hearing out of Lay Lake right now?
Well, at Lay, you saw what happened there at the Red Crest, but there is a lot going on. There's still some of those forward-facing sonar fish, biting out there. You could chase those around and still have some respectable bags. But at both Lay and Logan, though, those fish are headed to the bank. I personally, based on what I saw at Logan last week, I feel like that there's the bigger majority of those fish have their nose up there at the bank right now and are ready to do their thing. And you can see all the other wildlife out there kind of doing the same thing. They're the geese, the ducks, they're all up there ready to do their thing. So at Lay, that swim jig bite has been most productive for me around the grass. And whenever you get into those thicker clumps of water willows, punching, some net baits in there, whatever soft plastics you like, they're the best. That's been my deal for both Lay and Logan. And I actually have been to both in the past week and a half, and it was very similar patterns, different type lakes. But top water bites are still pretty good up there. They've cut the current back, and you're able to fish the upriver section a little easier right now at Lay. They're not as much current rolling down. They were, running 120,000, no, 24,000 yesterday, and then they cut it back to one turbine. So it's a lot lower now than it was. So you're able to do a little bit more up the river. So you can catch the spots and the largemouth both. I would suggest being closer to the bank. That forward-facing sonar stuff that you saw, I think that's on the way out, and I would suggest people going really focusing on that bank, that bedding type stuff, the plastics dragging around in top waters up there.
Yeah, I know this time of the year when those fish start to climb up in those beds, soft plastic creature baits are the best thing. Jigs will sometimes get them, but it seems to be a little bit too much pressure for them, right?
It does, and I was just talking about this yesterday on a fishing trip. The number one go-to bait for me is still the 1980s original lizard that came out, green pumpkin or pumpkin seed. For whatever reason, I've thrown every bait made since then, and that's still, to me, the most productive bait that I can get bit on is just the original lizards, throwing them up there. They don't like it, so in a good kind of way.
Yeah, exactly. Tracy, man, we appreciate everything. Thanks for filling in when Josh, man, he is putting baits together for the Bassmaster Classic, which is this weekend.
Yep.
Appreciate it, brother. Thanks.
Yep, thank you, sir. Have a good day.
Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, March 23rd. Hey, we are joined by the crappie king of Weiss Lake, that guide extraordinaire, that fisherman extraordinaire, Lee Pitts, one of my favorite people in the world. Let's talk Neely Henry.
Neely's looking a little bit better right now. It's still got some stain in the water. These weather issues, we just keep, every time we'll start catching a few fish, the weather's going to hit us, the wind's going to blow and get a little mud coming in. It's getting that time of year. Things are picking up. Fish still in some of the deeper troughs right now. I've been doing a lot of long lining, using those Bobby Garland products, the slab slayers and the miniminders, things like that. I went down to more of a 16th type deal, getting a little bit deeper. So these fish are wanting to come in. Even some of the deeper fish we're catching, hey, they got some eggs in them, so it's about to be that time. They're just waiting on Mother Nature to give us a little break where they can get up there and start doing their spring fling.
Sounds like fun, and I know they get a little angry and a little bit more willing to bite. Then, what about the bass up at Neely?
It's about the same thing as last week. You're still looking at that square bill, vibrating jigs, things like that, and they're starting to pull on up there tight. You can find those harder bottoms, something with a little bit of rock in it, and these fish are trying to get in the bays already. The mouths of some of these pockets getting in on those secondary points. It's about to be that time. Even with the water kind of fluctuating like it has been, the fish are in a holding pattern really, and what they're trying to do is find them a stretch of bank that they can start working on and cleaning up. Also pitching a jig and some plastics. A lizard has been real good, and even a spinnerbait bite.
What about Weiss? What are you hearing up there?
Weiss, well, the bass fishing is about the same. Weiss is looking pretty good. We've had last week had a tournament won 18 pounds. That's pretty strong. Doesn't matter what time of year it is. But spinnerbait bites looking good. Still that vibrating jig, and a lot of the flippers are starting to catch some fish up here. The fish are getting back on wood cover. Some of these, once again, just like Neely, your harder bottoms, those hard clay bottoms, holding a little bit of heat, and the fish are really relating to it.
All right, we got 30 seconds. Tell me about the crappie bite on Weiss.
Man, our crappie, and like I said, we've got them. We're seeing them on my hummingbirds. They're still out there deep. I'm seeing fish right now, 18, 20, 21 foot of water, and they're tending to just lay on the bottom. I don't know what's going on, but you can see them on the graph. You're watching them. I can put that side scan and down imaging on my hummingbirds, and you can see them there.
Lee, as always, we appreciate everything. And hey, it's time for you to let those clients ask you to take them to that secret special hole you got going on right now, and not the one that
Yeah,
you've been
yeah,
on.
I've been saving that place. I've been saving it, so I think that's where we're headed next.
Well, that'll wrap up our Bucks Island area fishing report for Saturday, March 23rd. Hey, don't forget to stop on by Bucks Island. We are back to summer's hours. We got a little bit of a change in that we're open till 2 o'clock on Saturdays, not 5. So Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. Saturdays, 8 to 2. Come see us over there. Boats are moving. People are in the store looking. We got the tackle, the parts, and the service that you need to keep on the water, stay on the water, put a few fish in the boat. Come see us at Bucks Island. We appreciate you. You are the best part of Bucks Island, and we thank you.